We are here live in Cologne, Germany, and you are witnessing Total War Arena. This is gameplay premiere. We have got 20 players, 10 versus 10. It's awesome. I'm not alone. I'm joined by two men. Dave, first, thanks for coming back. And of course, Elliot, thanks for sticking with me. Guys, that was a good first head-to-head. I mean,
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely awesome. The first game had an amazing moment. The second game had this, the amazing moment being the artillery strike. The second moment, that amazing hard push we had right through the middle. And the third game was just brilliant. And won the series, shall we say?
So close, just so close every game.
Every
Crazy.
single one. Yeah,
close games, already in alpha. That's good stuff. Coming up next, we have Salenum. We'll talk about that in a second. I know that a big feature is generals. Talk us a little bit through that.
So the commanders. The commanders. So each one it has its own core role. They're kind of spread over 3 roles right now. We've got defensive commanders, we've got assault commanders, and support commanders. So your assault commanders are going to generally have things like charge and stuff like that, right? They're going to get stuck in. They're going to want to do like the damage. Your defensive commanders, like Leonidas, he's going to hold a line, right? In fact, he's even got an order.
Yeah, we have hold the line.
Right?
He's got shield bash that he can pump. He's got push that can like force units back slowly and do damage a little bit as it goes. So it's something you just have to draw away from. He's about keeping that line and pushing you back, essentially. So I
don't like to use the phrase "you shall not pass," but you shall not pass with that, and you can defend the base with him. And then which one have I not mentioned? I've not mentioned support. So you've got Scipio, and the other one is Caesar. So Caesar, for example, will improve his artillery, improve his.
He's got Veni, Vidi, Vici, and he's got Divide and Conquer. So this first one essentially will it's an aura that pulls units with him. Essentially, like speeds them up. Everyone with his aura, and it will increase charge damage. Vidi increases the damage of missiles and the range of missiles around him. He's an inspiring force, right? And the fourth one, Vici, is a buff to melee stats, I believe. And then Divide and Conquer can stop any other commander within his aura being able to issue orders to their men. So if you're a Germanicus or a Leonidas, if you get in there quickly and pop that, they can't hold the line all of a sudden. It's a real disrupting and sort of supporting general.
So yeah, they're your roles there. So that's your overarching kind of roles before you get down to the units. So you need to think about that with your strategies.
All taken in, and strategy will play again a massive role here on Salenum, which will be the second map that we see today of the 3 maps that we're going to be showing. Talk me through a little bit the differences between Salenum and obviously what we played before.
Salernum, yeah, well, Salernum.
Much flatter.
Yes,
much flatter.
That is one key aspect, definitely much flatter.
Hashtag no hot gates.
Yeah, hashtag no hot gates, sorry about that.
Hashtag maybe the hot gates.
We have got a lot more ground types in this map. We've got the introduction of long grass, where you can hide. There's like really low visibility in long grass, right? I don't like to make the reference, but think Jurassic Park and Velociraptors. But yeah, you've still got the roads in there, and of course we've got this key feature to the south, which is the city, right? And like the hot gates, this gameplay in here is like choke point gameplay, but you've got key difference, which is flanking. So if you can't go down one route, you can go down another. So it's cutting off all of those routes. Cavalry will probably end up wreaking havoc in there if a unit gets left alone. So watch yourself if you're in the city, that's for sure.
So definitely something to take into account. Do you think the guys will have learnt from their mistakes in the last game? I know that we did talk about it in the break that the artillery played such a strong role. This obviously being a different map, you're going to have to use it correctly if you want to be lucky with that.
It's an interesting one because I suppose in the open ground it's going to be much more easy to avoid the incoming shells you can see, and I suppose they're not going to be locked down as much. So hopefully we're going to see people hiding in the long grass and hiding in the forest. It'll be a lot more guesswork from the artillery as they try and figure out where the enemy are and throw it out there early on to try and do some early damage and get some points, essentially.
But again, if you are in the city, you're going to be in a choke point, and you will get much like what happened with the hot gates. You will get hit because you can't go anywhere. If you go up into the forest, the forest will actually protect you. You'll be a bit protected from the artillery strikes coming in, not fully, but slightly protected. So that will play a role as well.
Definitely a lot to think about. Now, obviously, the 2 captains kind of taking their teams into this, do you think there are particular styles or approaches that they'll take to this map that you would say, hey, that would be my choice?
I don't know. It was interesting. I mean, I expected people to play a lot more defensive on Monopoly, obviously, and so Salenum, you kind of have to be a bit more aggressive because the bases are both sunk into these. There's a depression on either side of the map. So if you defend at your base, you're essentially always dealing with someone coming down at you. And whereas Thermopylae, you can sit a little bit higher, and then if you protect your ridge behind you, it's a little bit easier to defend. So probably going to see a bit more aggression, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if Jesse can get any more aggressive, but we'll see. That might happen.
I think he should definitely try.
The gauntlet's been thrown down, and it's interesting that you say it because the terrain, whether it's road, whether it's high ground, whether you're grass, it does play such an important role into the different types, and of course plays to the strengths of different units as well. That's something they've got to be thinking about as well.
Most definitely. I think there's 5 ground types on Salenum. So yeah, each unit that they have, they'll need to make sure that you don't bring pikes into the forest, right? That's a bad idea. Pikes
in the forest. You heard it here first. Don't take that.
They don't work in the forest. Cavalry gets a little bit punished in the forest as well. I believe your swords, that they're good in the forest.
Well, it'll be weight based essentially. So lighter units generally, everyone suffers a little bit of a speed penalty in forest, but the lighter units actually have an advantage in melee, whereas heavy units actually get a penalty to their melee attack and their melee defense. So you really don't want to go taking legionnaires into a forest because they'll be slow as anything, and they'll take a lot of damage from the lighter ones and can get around them and just shank them.
Definitely, but there's one key feature on this map that I haven't highlighted yet, which is the tower. There's a tower smack bang in the middle of the map, and you need that. You want that tower because that will give you huge amounts of vision on this map, which will allow you to obviously see what's going on, decide how you're going to attack the enemy. The only thing about taking the tower, of course, is artillery. And that's when artillery will target you and strike at you. So there's this sort of yin-yang of, do I go for it? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Oh no, artillery.
So much to think about. Now, of course, if you're at home, you're enjoying this, I'm sure. So please reach out, let us know what you're thinking using that hashtag TWArena. And of course, you're online, head over to totalwar.com/ESL and get yourself into this game. You will absolutely love it. Guys, I think it's time for us to head over to our 2 friends, James and Lee. Let's see what they have to say as we get underway on our next map.
Thank you very much, Sean and guys. So here we go, moving on to Salenum. We just heard what they said. Teams are going to have to be more aggressive. As you mentioned, not sure if Jesse could be more aggressive than he was previously. I'd say that. Second map, he reserved himself. He held himself back a little bit. But Germanicus is the team we're going to follow in this one. So that's going to be Lionheart and Duck. You've just heard from Lionheart, of course, in the interview. Very confident coming into this one. What do we make of it? Salenum, we've played this probably about 3 or 4 times, Jesse, and we lost every single time.
Yeah, we had no luck.
We're probably not the experts to talk on this one.
Well, I've had better experiences outside of this weekend, but Salenum is a map that's very much dominated by the city to the south, and with a big arena, Colosseum in the middle.
We should point out in this map, actually, you can maybe make it out. Not sure if you can make it out from their point of view. Actually, they're drawing on the map where they want to hold out. That's actually exactly the right place.
Yep.
So that's like the high ground. Now, just ahead of it, just below the line, there's a little dot, bang center. That's a tower, and that is so important to get to because it gives you so much vision in that area.
Yeah, so it's one of the most big focal points on the map. The second one being just out the Colosseum where all the roads intersect. So a lot of the teams are going to go for that watchtower, get that initial vision. And the reason why that vision is so important on Salenum is it gives you vision of the woods, the tall grass, and there's tall grass is everywhere. Without vision in that tall grass, you're going in blind. So if you're walking cavalry in there, your strike force, and they go through that cavalry, and they go into that, they go through the long grass and woods, and they have no vision, and all of a sudden they get hit from all sides or they start getting shot at. Yeah, it ends really bad. Now you see long grass there. So units inside that will be completely invisible until either they come out of it or
you're almost
someone
on top of them,
walks onto
yeah.
it, basically. Some units can get quicker vision on it, but in most cases, especially when it's heavy infantry and cavalry, they're walking in there blind. So they need that watchtower.
Diplex with his artillery could be vital in this one. Also, we should talk about the city. The city is very tricky. You can see, obviously, they're going in there. Duck's going to be the man. Well, he snuck around the back a long time. You can see Baron and Duck, their duo, once again, doing their work. We're going to be following Lionheart at the moment, so he's going to push forward. But the tower, we expect to see, you can see on the mini-map in the bottom corner, there's cavalry. I'm pretty sure that's cavalry that's charging ahead. There's also quite a few people getting up the road, the high road at the moment. Yes, Paul's with the cavalry. He's trying to get there. Spotted someone already. They're firing.
Oh, that's the watchtower's been captured.
They've already captured the watchtower, so that means there's cavalry already there.
Yeah, so this is really dangerous, and they've decided to go for it because they want that down. And there you go. Whoever it was has backed off our watchtower immediately. You catch it, you see where that pressure's coming from, and you can kind of make up your plans from that. So they've gone back for it again, keeping vision. So right now, Paulus is having to, either find out if they're going to commit to defending it, and it is Mecha, or if he's not. And he's not even reacting, and there's a very clunky charge from both of them, not really getting enough head of steam up to do a lot of damage, but either way, they are now committed to it.
Oh, we can see artillery raining down into the town as well to the left-hand side. Meanwhile, it's Leviathan, I think, that's charged up the road. You can see there's somebody that's gone straight up the road. I'm pretty sure that's Leviathan. He's making a fast push straight around the back there. He's got somebody else with him as well, so there's quite a few, around about 6 units charging straight up the road.
They will have vision on the other side, so I'm not surprised if artillery. Yeah, so this is where it's going to get interesting. So Baron and Duck both gone into the city to try and anchor their flank on the left, and they are just completely outnumbered. So Duck's further up in the city, just in the outskirts, in the suburbs, and he's holding it fine, but the pressure came at the crossroads, and that's where it's really hurting.
Artillery fire going on in the top there. I think it was Leviathan just got rained upon. Duck holding out there. Trying to hold the street battles at the moment. The problem is, though, once you start losing the battle, and as you can see, the range coming out, it's the javelins being tossed at Duck. Duck's going to keep that shields up and get himself backed away. Total Warzone's the man that's putting the pressure on them in the town around the Colosseum.
So you see they pull back here. They're trying to basically going for the hard points in the city. They don't have it. They know they're outnumbered, so they want to anchor their flanks on the buildings. And he's gone for Principes. So Principes on roads do significantly better. It's basically the equivalent of heavy infantry, light infantry in the woods, heavy infantry on the roads. They get massive bonus, and that's the reason why they've gone for those units in the city.
Lionheart is still holding steady. Mecha and Paul's continuing to fight over that. You can see the cavalry, massive amounts of cavalry charging at each other back and forth. This time Ramblers come in to support, but you can see they are going to get control. That means they've suddenly got a massive amount of vision ahead, and that's why we can suddenly see a big chunk of the map.
You can see all of a sudden a lot of the army. Lionheart here making a decision. They're going to go straight down the road. So they're going to try and... So you can already see on the top of the minimap that there's a flanking force on the right, and Lionheart is going to be the other pincer for the left. Meanwhile, this is going on, though. They have to be careful because that city is slowly but surely pushing closer and closer to the base.
It's a clever little setup, though, Dux and Baron. What they've done, like you said, they've blockaded the roads to a point that if one was to push either army, you can flank around the back of them. So they got a good little setup. It's going to be a tricky push for whoever's in the town there against them. Jakefish is the man that's being pushed back by Lionheart. Sidestrafe's going to be coming up. He's basically, Lionheart's playing full defender for Sidestrafe's archers. Meanwhile, Jakefish is just going in. Rambler's going to completely get around the back of him there. So that may not work out well for him. There we go. There's Total War Zone. There's Duck coming around the back of him. Duck's going to meet him head to head.
If we get a look at Duck there, he is trying to go around the back and just completely surround that unit from Total War Zone. Everyone, I don't think they expected anyone to be in the city there, and they just got completely caught out.
Baron, meanwhile, also coming around the side. Baron's going to get around the other side of Total War Zone.
Oh, Lionheart's surrounded by cavalry here.
Jakefish is going to get in towards those archers. He's trying to do as much damage as he can to Sidestrafe. Oh, that was a good charge straight into them. And you can see the damage that it did to Sidestrafe. Took a lot of his units down there. Lionheart's been playing catch-up, I think, a lot on Jakefish. This is reminiscent of, I think it was map 1, where he was chasing Jakefish around a lot.
Artillery's coming in on him as well. Oh, my God. Oh, he's so lucky he moved out the way of that. He was so close. You can always use things like charge to get away from artillery. You see it coming in. You need to make a
get out of there.
Quick burst of speed, and he was lucky there. But Jakefish, a guy who's been in the Total War community, in the YouTube community for Total War in a long, long time, and it really showing that he's picked up some skills in Total War Arena.
Mecha continuing with PHAs. Look at the vision. This is cavalry, and we're even losing a bit of vision. Oh, he just found Diplex. He just took down Diplex's artillery back there.
And it looks like they're going to go for the base.
Mecha's done the job, really. Total War Zone has actually lost most of his units in the town, but Diplex down, so that's the artillery out for Germanicus. That's going to cause them problems. Lionheart, though, continuing to march forward towards that base. I'm not sure what's back there defending.
I'm not even sure if they have anything. I mean, the thing that's going to be interesting about this game is if you look at the enemy armies for both sides, our army is 1,400, enemy army 1,430. So either way, both sides are very close. But right now, yeah, like you're saying, there's almost nothing defending the space.
Yeah, I think Diplex is losing all his artillery, though, at the back, which may be a big telling difference because we haven't really seen a great deal of Leonidas' artillery itself. We've been seeing it coming down. We've seen the effects of it. But I think, actually, this Hugo, he's going looking for it. He may get around the back there. They've held the high ground well. They've held the town well. I'll tell you what, Baron and Duck have done an absolute magnificent job in that town.
Yeah, definitely. They knew they were outnumbered. They picked their fights perfectly. They're laying down the life so the rest of the team can do the work here. And you can see there's the orders. Lionheart telling Sidestrafe where to position his archers. And they're going to go for a sneaky camp while the majority of the enemy army is out in the city.
8.5 minutes to go on this one. They're going to get into the town, seemingly unseen. Meanwhile, Leonidas yet to get close to that town, and you can see the cap going up so quickly already. 1,200 units to 1,300, so the numbers definitely in Leonidas' favour. You can see in the town, actually starting to win out in the town, but they're holding on, and this cap is completely unseen by Leonidas. Nobody is anywhere near defending this.
Yeah, and the only thing that really could do it is cavalry artillery. That's because there's 2 full players in there.
They can't get back. They can't get back quick enough. This cap is going to happen. Germanicus have actually managed to sneak on in there. 57% already. This is game over. Oh, they're on the other team. The cap on the other team. But that's way too late. 75%. It's a job done by Lionheart and Sidestrafe. Beautiful work from them. 90%. Germanicus will take game 3.
The enemy has seized our base. Hope is lost.
Just seeing his fight, they knew they'd got that one. There was nothing around them, and you know, for a long time, Lionheart was just poking, looking what was ahead. Eventually, Polar Saber will get that vision. They kind of realized how much was on the hill, just overwatching that watchtower, and then they pushed forward, kept pushing. Duck and Baron did a great job. Baron and Duck have been this kind of twosome so well.
Basically caused problems for Leonidas the entire game.
They've been anchoring their flank every single time, and because of that, they can commit to other flanks because they know that left flank is fine.
Yeah, and that was just simply a case of they couldn't push quick enough through the town. The top hill had a lot of units on there, so problems for Team Leonidas right now. A lot of inquisitive faces there. Leviathan was the man that pushed around the top there. Diplex with his artillery. He actually got caught out by Mecha, but damage wasn't enough. Rambler did a good job with his cavalry as well, managing to get around there.
Yeah, like I said, let's go back to what was going on in the town, because when you seen Duck and Baron...
It's funny, I was thinking Baron and Duck must be sat next to each other, but they're not. They're completely the other side.
Yeah, they are separated.
Duck's over there, isn't it? That's Duck. Duck in the middle there, yeah. And Baron's all the way over here.
Either way, they've been holding down on that town, and they did a very good job there. And with that, gave the team the rest chance to just race straight down the middle, and with that was an easy capture. So, a lot of talks going on here in the studios between the teams, figuring out what they can do to change. Still, another 2 maps on Salenum, so clearly going to be covering their defenses a little better in this one. Make sure the Ninja Cap doesn't sneak through. I mean, they just went straight through the middle. They did, and you know what? Jake Fish was there, and he did a really, really good job of trying to frustrate. He did a load of damage to Sidestrafe's archers as well. Lionheart couldn't really do anything about that. Once again, in that kind of stern chase with the cavalry, not much you're going to do about that. So it kind of came down to a lot of deciding, you know what, okay, you can keep coming out with your cavalry like that. Doesn't matter. Going to go straight for the base now and see what you can do to stop me. And there wasn't anything at all. Yeah, absolutely. Solid stuff for them. Germanicus, 3-1 up. Do we keep it 3-1? Or do we just say, hey, they won Thermopylae? They won Thermopylae. We're going to keep it at that because it's Salenum now. So we'll go with that. It's fair on them. It's all fun. It's all fun and games here. It's great for you guys, obviously, at home to get your first view of this premiere of Total War Arena. Of course, you've all heard the ramblings about it. You've all seen the little videos, the little clips that come out, but now you're seeing it actually in action, the gameplay. And this is only a closed alpha. Like, very rarely do we get to see closed alpha play so solid as it is right now. There's obviously a long way to go. We heard obviously from the developers earlier talking about how it's down to you guys that are involved in this closed alpha to give the input of how they feel in the game, what they feel needs changing in the balances, what they feel needs changing. Yeah, for anyone who's ever played a multiplayer game, the community always knows what they want and knows what they feel they need, and you got to take that feedback and implement it when you can.
Yeah.
And
you also need to look at the pros and cons of like that feedback, because sometimes the feedback's a little like skewed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like even I struggle with it. I play a certain commander. I like my commander to be better, and even I can end up being trying to be biased.
This is what you were talking about. Like the developers won't give you a completely unlocked account. They want you to play the full experience.
Yeah.
So they can use you as a number one feedback point.
Most definitely, because at the end of the day, I am still a player of the game, and it's lucky I'm not playing today because it'd be very one-sided. Obviously,
yeah.
You know me.
I know you'd stack the teams as well.
Yeah, well, maybe that would be taken away from me. But it's definitely we focus what we can on, and that's why with closed alphas and so on, we can gather that, and that's why we've done internal events where we brought in loads of Total War players, lots of the hardcore, and give them a chance to play at a very early stage, and we listen to them and see what we can do.
So Leonidas is the team we're going to follow next. Going to keep switching it up, keeping the sides that way, of course. Jesse Cox there, the commander of Team Leonidas. Of course, getting a lot of support, certainly from the likes of Mecha on that team, and a lot of experienced players. Here we go, though. Map number 2 of Salenum.
The amount of shield bash he's been able to deliver in the last few games has been quite impressive. Also, I mean, for long-time watchers of like the Total War community, which I'm sure there are many watching, on Team Leonidas, you've got Prince of Macedon, who was our very first Total War YouTuber, definitely our most popular, and he was kind of always pushing for Alexander the Great. That's his role model and something he's been pushing for a long time. So I'm sure he's quite happy to be able to play Alexander the Great, and more importantly, take some cavalry, which he was well known for back in the original Rome. So we're going to have to see if that is going to come on board. I mean, cavalry play is very important, especially in the early phases, because you need to get that scouting. And that's what came down on that watchtower in Salenum at the very beginning. So hopefully we're going to see a bit more of that. But at the same time, you've got to be careful, because like we were saying before, you can go for this watchtower, but if artillery drops on top of you, and considering cavalry is so fragile at the beginning, especially to artillery, it's a bad day.
Oh, look at this. Jesse Cox, he's going to go straight in there with his hoplites. So, okay, so he's going to rush for that.
He's
obviously, cavalry will be there. Cavalry is already on its way. Yeah. That's actually one of the things that I was doing as well, because obviously I play Total War a lot. You double click, you can speed things up. Doesn't work in this. They will be running regardless. So Mecha's going to get there first, it seems, as he did in the last matchup, actually. But the question is, can they hold it? Pauls, I'm pretty sure we'll see challenging it. There it is. As soon as the fog goes up, Pauls comes running in. But this time, Mecha and Jake Fish are there in numbers.
Yeah, once again, they always got to the watchtower first. It's really what they've come with it afterwards. They're bringing in a lot of the archers, and that's kind of what you need. But yeah, all 3 cab players are up here at the watchtower. And once again, just focusing that combat right in the center of the map. And there's the artillery.
Oh, he just about got out of the way. Didn't do too much damage to Mecha there. But that artillery was in good position, ready for that one. Paul's actually got routed in there. Didn't see what caused it, but you can see his morale was completely dented, so something clearly landed heavily on him. Jake Fish is actually going to be unseen until they get close. That's why Mecha's got full vision right now. Artillery just flicking past. But Dr. Pros, he's going to be the man. These archers in here, while it is risky. Ooh,
look at so much cavalry coming down from Rambler as well.
But they go straight into the artillery. Straight, there it is. Artillery raining in, that's going straight towards the cavalry. Should be doing enough. Gonna covering that one off, and Jesse sending one of his units back there to cover it off. Pauls has taken an absolute beating, completely surrounded. He's trying to rush on through, trying to get to the archers, but he's completely been pinned down. There is a lot of cavalry coming through, but Paul's completely routed, and this is a big, heavy loss for the cavalry already.
Yeah, and you can already see they're going to route back through Mecha's units. They keep control of this watchtower, but they're bunching up, and now artillery is going to... it completely got saved by that watchtower, literally taking the bullet for them.
Oh, they've got to be careful. They're grouping up heavily here.
Heavily.
That watchtower's lost at the moment. Jesse Cox is just going to step a little closer to it. There we go. We'll recapture it. And they've still have vision.
Lionheart again.
And this is a big difference. So basically what we're seeing is completely different to what Germanicas see. This will be completely grayed off to them because Jesse's holding that tower.
Yeah, without that watchtower, you lose so much information. Then you start second guessing. Then you start getting worried about your flanks. And with that,
hello, Lionheart's coming through the middle again, guys. You might want to keep a view on this one. He's trying to do what he did before. You can see Mecha's making chase. Rambler's got hot on his heels. I think the artillery this time, though, they're the ones that are holding back, and I think they're going to cover off Lionheart's push.
Yeah, they need to use this vision advantage to really just kill units in front of them right now, because you can sit there and have that advantage of vision, but if you don't use it with your range units, then it's not worth it. You need to use it for your advantage, and right now, they're getting picked apart by range units when they have complete vision of the area.
Jakefish is trying to get flank around the back there. Paul's, despite the fact he is low on units, is still keeping vision. Oh, that was Warrior Sparta taking a big beating from the artillery. The town is actually heavily being lost here by Leonidas. We can see a lot of number units from Germanicus pushing through there. Mecha's just drawing him back, keeping the advantage, but Leonidas are going to struggle to hold this town at this rate. Polzo has snuck through.
Yeah, and they have used this side advantage. Oh god, that unit is not alive. Well, it is.
No,
but
not anymore.
But you still got one unit. It's coming on the center again, and this is, oh, look at that cav. Once again, you can start on Rambler, just so much cavalry units.
Yeah, the town is definitely lost. There's no doubt about it. Germanicus have control of the town, but at Leonidas, we can see, have control of the hill, and they can push straight for the capture point here. The question is, have they got enough to hold them back? And they've got to be careful they don't get flanked as well.
So the way this is looking is, for one side has won decisively in the woods and one has won decisively in the city. So now they have to make a decision on how much they're going to push heavy here.
Rambler could get straight onto the archers there. The archers, but he would be rushing uphill, which is actually very tricky in this one. So the cavalry charge uphill.
Got charged down on Rambler, took out one unit, and then Jakefish gets the next.
Jakefish, Prince of Macedon, all charging downhill. That's going to give them an advantage. It is a big bonus in this game.
If we can keep an eye on Mecha with his cavalry here, and that's very much the forward. Jesse Cox just coming in with heavy infantry, watching his team do what they can, and then Jakefish once again just coming in the back and just causing damage. Jesse needs to either move that forward or get that artillery onto the tower, because they've lost the tower, which means they've actually lost a lot of vision. And you can see Pauls has gone on it. Pauls has given the entire team vision of what's going on there, because everybody moved away from it. Yeah, and this is where it's going to get interesting, because there's only a few units defending the top of that hill before it goes into Germanicus' base here. So they have to make a decision. Are they going to defend this hard point on the top of the hill, or are they just going to give it up and let it fall?
Pauls is taking damage from the archers, but he's still actually managing to get on.
That unit might break through, though.
I think he's just routed. The archers.
If that unit of archers, cavalry, breaks through and goes towards the artillery, he will get it. And that artillery is completely white. If that unit got through, you can see that unit cavalry going through.
And that's exactly what Mecha's done. Look at this, round the back. Diplex has been completely caught out. He's managed to cover the hill. He's doing enough damage, but he's been locked up. He's got one of the catapults down. Should be able to get the second one. He's got Prince of Macedon and Jakefish all in there. Will charge through. Diplex just gets dropped. That's the artillery down. And Leonidas are looking in a good position now. They've got 815 units to 1,058, though, so numbers still favour Germanicus.
But I think the reverse just happened on the other side of the map. Jesse Cox leaving that one unit behind, but I'm not sure if that cavalry came in and took him out.
They're rushing for the cap. You can see the cavalry going in there. Meanwhile, the same, as you mentioned, is happening. Jesse is just about holding up, but I think the artillery of Gunner may be going down at the back there. They managed to come through. They're just picking up the routed troops. Rambler actually making his way back here in towards Mecha. Jakefish very much got a solid set of troops there.
Yeah, there's no vision right now on Leonidas' base, and you can see that cap is going over because the artillery, I think, has been taken out. If we can get a look at Jesse Cox's units here, the likelihood is that with the artillery being down, they have no way to stop the cap in their base.
Well, you can see 47%, 49%. This is absolutely going the way of Germanicus once again. They have the cap advantage, which is why Mecha Leonidas pushing all their troops in, but it's already a 70%. Germanicus are going to take it once again. They've snuck around the back. And well, while Leonidas are trying their best, it is going to be a cap for Germanicus. And they go 2-0 on the map, 4-1 overall. I think it was Lionheart again, you know. I reckon he snuck in there again. Remember, they did take the town completely, so we weren't keeping track of what the forces were going on in the town. So I'm pretty sure they must have come around, just pushed in.
As soon as you do see a big spot as soon as you see a kind of base trade scenario of it's coming down, you got to make a decision if you're going to send some troops back to defend or if you're just going to go all out and push. And what you saw there was just that. But when Gunnar lost his artillery and didn't have a way of being able to fire in to actually to take out the capping force, that's when it was over. You got artillery outside the base, you can wait quite a while before you stop bombarding to knock that cap down.
So interesting game. It was literally a game of two halves. Jesse's team, Leonidas, took pretty much the high ground. Germanicus completely took over the town, and both literally passing in the night. The problem was, though, Leonidas' team were held up a little bit by Germanicus. I think it was actually Leviathan that was in there for the vast majority of it, that was holding the line in the middle, in the top of the hill, using his, I think it was hoplites, I think he had in there.
Yeah. Hoplites are the best.
Basically just slowing them down, as he's saying. He's like, we needed to push through. Wasn't possible. And they just got delayed.
But each time, they almost had that game. And when Paulus managed to get his cavalry through to take out the artillery from Team Leonidas, that's when they couldn't stop the cap. They couldn't stop the cap from Lionheart's team. And that is the single one moment where they completely lost the game. They were going to walk in and capture. But as soon as they have no way of stopping, and the artillery was perfectly placed to do so, but Paulus, with a handful of cav, survived going through the middle and took out that artillery.
Survived so many times, and he just managed to hang on. And it just goes to show, it doesn't mean you don't need like all the forces. He even got around there, and more importantly, he got vision. He managed to cap the tower, didn't he?
Yeah.
For just that brief moment. And that's all the information that I feel that Germanicus, his team, needed. Lionheart and his boys just pushed on through like, back is empty, guys. Let's get in there.
Yeah, they took a chance there and just walked through. But each time, they've come close. Leonidas' team come very close to actually taking the game, but it's just slipped away through Lionheart's sneaky tactics of just going straight through the middle. You can get so focused on, and this is always the thing about Arena, you get so focused on certain places of the map that you kind of just lose complete vision on your opponent. And cavalry, because it's so important, you start using it kind of to support everyone, and then you have no vision on one half of the map.
Body language between these two teams is visible right now. A lot of glum faces on Team Leonidas. Big smiles here on Germanicus right now. Lionheart, look at that big grin. He's very happy. It's working out so well for him.
I think Ramler always has a kind of confused grin on his face. I don't think there is a time I haven't seen it at all. It's all right. I'm sure it will go their way this time.
Right, here we go. Game 3 on Salenum. Can it be a clean sweep for Germanicus, or will Leonidas get themselves one back into this one? Let's have a look at the positions. Rambler with the cavalry. Yep, number 4 going up front. Expect the cavalry positions to be on there. Diplex again, he's going to take number 6. He's going to get himself up. So this is actually what they worked with last time. Diplex got so close, so fast forward, even though he's using artillery to get the shots onto that tower early on.
Yeah. Well, in the last game, they took the watchtower.
It's a big risk. It's a big risk pushing your artillery that hard.
It is. I mean, at the end of the day, the artillery is most likely going to get cut down eventually. It's very vulnerable. It is something that's going to be destroyed at some point in the battle. It all comes down to how much you can use it at the early game to kind of crowd control your opponents. And that's something we've started to see quite a bit. Constantly hammering at that watchtower started to make the team question if they wanted to move forward too quickly. When in reality, the more you push, the less likely you're going to get hit by the artillery, and eventually you're right up against them anyway and stabbing them in the throat. So it's probably the best way to deal with people who have artillery, is just get in their face and see what they're do it in my face and not a mile away with some boulders.
Paul's is see if he's going to be the first, if Mecca's going to be there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be both of them. Paul has line up once again with side strafe, and Hugo backing him up this time. Actually, Hugo not going forward with the cavalry, so I wonder if they're keeping themselves busy for the left-hand side, which I'm guessing. Oh, there we go. Paul quickly gets in there. Mecca, look at all the cavalry coming in this time. It's a full-on cavalry charge from Leonidas. They want to try and take control of this high ground.
Yeah, once again, the fight continues for the watchtower. It's the battle for the ages on this map, and once again, Lionheart chilling in the tall grass with side strafe and Hugo Star, and they're once again they're just anchoring the center, while the top is mostly comprised of cavalry and artillery.
Ooh.
And that's what happens when you have vision from the watchtower. You can hit anyone chilling out in the long grass.
Yeah, and that's actually found them. They've actually put a lot more units into the town this time, it seems, Lionheart's guys. That's probably going to be Baron and Duck, but it looks like there's a little more than that this time. What is this set of units just to the left-hand side of Lionheart?
So
I can see them coming, trying to flank around to Jakefish. Jakefish and Dr. Bruce. No, they're not going to be able to get in there. Looks like actually they're going for a flank around in the town. So this time around, the town being defended heavily. Oh, that artillery hitting Jakefish heavily.
You can hear them scrambling to work this out. All of a sudden, there's more aggressive play.
But look at Mecha. Really Mecha's got straight around the back, actually, trying to get in there. Now, remember, Diplex pushed up quite aggressively. They are being routed a little bit by the cavalry here.
So there, once again, Duck and Baron holding down the city.
Mecha's straight around the side. I'm pretty sure Mecha just got onto the side of him. Side strike, no, he's actually covered off. He's pulled away. Yeah. Mecha thought about it.
They're going for that artillery again.
I think he's going to get around it as well.
There were too many javelins around
Diplex is up here. You can see him just on the brow of the hill. Diplex is sat there. No, he's covered off well this time, though. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's just like, Leviathan, you need to stop Mecha coming through, because Mecha is trying to get around there. He's trying to do the damage. Lionheart's going to face off against Jakefish in the town. Baron looks like he's engaged. I think it was Baron engaged with Jesse Cox. So Jesse Cox has gone for the city this time around. Mecha slowly being corralled in there. Hugo's looking to try and cover him off. Jakefish is... I don't think it'd be foolish to engage this one.
And you see Lionheart trying to throw his peeler here and Shermanator coming through with his cavalry. But there's not that many places you can go in the city, and it does become a case of you just end up getting into these kill lanes.
They got some big numbers in the city, actually. Jesse Cox has got a lot of troops in there alongside him. But meanwhile, that must mean the top is losing out. There's the Pilar going in towards Jakefish. Didn't have his shields up, so actually a lot of damage was done to them. Jakefish, just a heavy charge coming in from Lionheart, but now he's been flanked. Jakefish round around the back, side into side strafe. That was a great flanking maneuver from Jakefish.
Yeah, Lionheart completely caught out there, and it looks like more and more is coming through.
Oh no, that's just archers. That's just archers running into each other. It's chaos. Chaos in the towns.
So Jakefish went for a charge on the archers, doing a bit of damage, but because he'd used his charge, Lionheart was able to come in with his own.
Oh, Jakefish is holding off just about, but look at this. They've got into the town. The cap is already coming out here. It's Rambler that's got in there. They've got 16%, and there's nobody from Leonidas anywhere near it. It's ticking away. They're just being completely distracted in the town.
Yeah, that cap is slowly ticking over, and if Rambler goes for it, they're going to get it. So I don't even know what to say. They need to work out a quick way if they've got any units that can actually get back and defend.
Well, Lionheart has managed to take down Jakefish on the front line there. Hugo's now flanking in. He's coming in to cover this off. Meanwhile, the cap is up to 45%. Rambler in there with all three cavalry units. Now, cavalry is much slower capping, but when there's nobody there touching you, it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah, Shermanator here, he has cavalry, and they need to be going back to the base right now. They don't need to be fighting out in the middle of the city. He needs to get them as quick as possible back to the base.
67% on the cap. Still 10 minutes to go in this game, but it might be much quicker.
There you go, Cap's coming.
See everybody coming in there. Mecha's the man to try and engage them. That will slow the cap down, but they have to do more damage. There we go. Cap stopped. Good job, Mecha.
One charge from his depleted unit just annihilated that entire cap.
Whew. That was a great job. There was like visible size in here, but look at the numbers. Almost 1,500 troops for Germanicus right now. Below 1,200 already for Leonidas. So they are being pulled from pillar to post right now, trying to get in there. Lionheart, once again, he's got pulls with him. Total War trying to get around the side of him. Total War zone, I should say. But look at this, side strafe with the archers. Once those archers get around the side here, they're going to do damage to Total War zone, just throwing those Pilar out.
Yeah, it's completely surrounded. I think Total War's just, that unit is in trouble, so he's just going to do what he can, make a last stand and buy time for his team, and they need time right now to reorganize and regroup.
I'd love to see what's going on just behind him, because Jesse and Co had been held up there for so long, but Lionheart's going to go for the charge straight into Total War zone. Kind of charged into each other, and Lionheart actually came out worse in that one. He's going to try and flank around the back of Total War zone. Good use of flanking tactics here. That's going to lower the morale. Look at the morale dropping above Total War zone's head. That white bar will drop, and as soon as that goes, he will be routed, and the damage from Lionheart will be big.
Yeah, and Lionheart there just using his numbers to just overtake Total War zone. And Total War zone trying to do what he can, but that cavalry is just cutting them up.
Both teams just charging into each other, immediately losing half the army, just dropping dead on the floor.
Two Germanicus smash charge with the same units, and it is pretty much a massacre.
Big number advantage for Germanicus. 400 plus troops over Leonidas. Jesse Cox and co. They've been held up in the town for so long, and you know, we haven't seen Baron and Duck, so you've got to feel that it must be Baron and Duck doing work in there. Side strafe with the archers once again, literally side strafing Total War Zone. Doesn't matter. Hugo's cavalry charge comes in, and that's Total War Zone done and dusted. Shermanator's actually going to get around there. Side strafe needs to back away. You can see the cavalry trying to get around the side, not going to work out. Total War Zone has been defeated. Lionheart has done that. Hugo as well. Just a few tiny little troops. Shermanator trying to get the cavalry charge, and side strafe getting infantry charged by Total War Zone. Interesting use of archers there.
Oh,
that's not going to work out.
Oh my god, that's so many men dead.
That leveled the battlefield a little. It's still a big advantage, though, for Germanicus. And cap or not, I think the numbers are starting to tell a big difference for Germanicus.
They are definitely, and more importantly, a lot of the cavalry is still in the field. And cavalry are definitely the ones that, you know, bring everything to a head. And right now, but then again, saying that, Rambler went into that cap with 3 full units of cavalry.
And he's almost lost a lot.
And there's nothing left of them now. And with that being said, Hugo starts the last cavalry remaining on his team, but you know, it does seem like it's swinging decisively right now in Germanicus' favour, but you can be surprised how much damage you can do when a load of units have took a load of damage. You try and push for the final victory, and you can just get reckless and picked apart.
Well, it was a 400 unit difference. It's now only a 300 unit difference. So Leonidas are definitely starting to get their way back into this one. Look at Lionheart trying to sneak around there at the moment. They have kind of taken control. Actually, no, they've lost control of the Colosseum. They've got to be careful with that. Shermanator's still with the cavalry. Hugo's got a lot of units. He's going to run down. He's going straight into the archers in the back there. Lionheart, meanwhile, he's trying to sneak around, but, well, I think that cavalry charge has backfired. And now the numbers are getting closer. This is starting to swing in favor of Leonidas.
Yeah, definitely. But if that artillery is still fully functional on the hill, then a cap is going to be very, very difficult to take. And this fight happening right out here now, it does paint a pretty nasty picture. That's a lot of heavy infantry that are still pretty much full strength.
Paul S is going to try and get through. He's getting blocked off. Malakath, though, a lot of archers in there. Continue to rain down. Lionheart's going to try and sneak in, but the amount of units he's got there, it's going to take him a long time to cap, and they can easily turn back around on him. Still, the units, numbers, advantage is with Germanicus. Lionheart, you can see, we know you're doing a stealth mission, mate. Let's see something else, Lionheart. Come on. You sat there. We don't want to see your little units. You're not going to get this cap. It's not going to happen.
He wants it. He wants it bad. And it is right now. Is it 4% capping over? So...
Oh, Malakath doing work. He's got himself on the hill, actually, Malakath, so he's starting to do some serious damage. But now we're starting to see the number advantage for Germanicus. Look at it, just 300 units left for Leonidas. Some would say that's enough, but I don't think it is. Lionheart's going to find a few cavalry in here, but that shouldn't be a problem. So the cap's starting.
This is important. If Paulus can get this charge onto this unit of Malakath, they can make sure that this capture isn't frustrated over and over again.
Oh, he's got the charge. He gets the hammer down. Oh, the archers hit it at the last second before they got the charge down. But he's still taking damage. Malakath, though, yeah, he's going to fire on Lionheart. The shields are up, but he's actually getting flanked. But the numbers is huge in favor of Germanicus now. It still remained 400 difference between the two teams, and this time he should be able to hold on. Now the units of Germanicus moving in force.
So they have to be careful here, because every time they're going in for a cap, those rangers are going to start stopping it.
There's
but the artillery, it must be the artillery.
Yeah, I think the artillery, Leonidas, we saw it was up to like 30-40% there, and then it just got hit, get walloped. And Germanicus now, the cap is on. 4 minutes or not, it doesn't matter. The game is not going to last that long.
That artillery, you can see it landing there. If we can get a quick look over on Jesse Cox's screen, I think we might be seeing the artillery stopping the cap.
Oh, and that's it. The cap has been cleared. Oh, hello, something just hit him. That wiped off 20%, but it's not going to be enough. Look at it.
There was a unit of cavalry still alive too. It could have killed that artillery ages ago.
I think they'd routed. I think they're completely routed back in there. We'll see. Yeah, 85%. Job done. Lionheart somehow lives throughout that one. Not quite sure, but he's happy about it, that's for sure.
I mean, it definitely looked like they weren't going to get that one. It kind of looked like the city had fallen, and it looked like it was only a matter of time. But there you go. That artillery on the hill played all part in that victory because you can just stop back cap.
Big win there. Lionheart very delighted with that one. Jesse Cox's team, though, Leonidas 3-0'd on Salenum.
It was close for them every time. They almost took it. It's
that was the closest yet. That was definitely the closest yet.
Definitely.
The cap almost came out. That's Prince of Macedon, I believe, isn't it?
Warrior Sparta being
Warrior Sparta.
Liking to show it's not all over just yet.
Well, okay, that's technically 5-1, and we're going to just say it's 2-0 in maps.
Oh, 2-0
I think that's the fairest method.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you look at the score? I don't know. Marathon is going to be the next map. We'll see how that works out for them, but so far, solid stuff. Team Germanicus, they seem to have got the teamwork, and you can see every time there's like a couple of people pairing off with each other. You always see Angry Duck pairing off with Baron. We see Lionheart pairing off with Side Strafe, I believe it is. It says Stace on my screen in front, but I'm pretty sure it's Strafe. Just going off the side. They always little grouping together, so we're starting to see some real teamwork developing in Germanicus.
It always best to work. You can have like groups of 4, definitely, but sometimes it is best to just have 1 or 2 people doing a job because it's a lot quicker to make a decision. The more people, the harder decision making becomes. 2 people, we're backing off. Okay, no problem. Start backing off. And that's what was important in the city. Working when you're outnumbered, start limiting the amount of options that your opponents can come at you from, and just start holding off. So the rest of your team can go out and win the game for you, which is what happened multiple times there by just going down the straight main road.
Absolutely. It seemed to work well for Lionheart. He was closer, much closer towards the end there. And I want to hear from the man himself. For Team Leonidas, it is Jesse Cox. The pain is real.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you so much, James. I am joined by a man. Jesse, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. My team, not so well.
Dave, obviously, here as well. Jesse, talk us through that.
It's pretty obvious every time why we're losing. We cannot counteract why we're losing. Their cavalry is heavily skilled. Like, their cavalry players are better than our cavalry players. And because of that, it negates all of our catapult ability. Our cavalry players have to constantly run around to try and stop their cavalry players. And then it makes us have to defend things that we shouldn't be defending in order to counteract their skilled cavalry players. And so that allows their catapults to do whatever they want, and that allows their guys to do whatever they want. And so every time, because of their cavalry players, we're constantly behind. And that's just what it is. You can see it every time because they're all over the place. And we can't do anything to stop them. And we can't.
I mean, it's really unfortunate because obviously that first game was so quick. You know, like Lionheart just ran in there and got into the base. And it could have been countered if there'd just been maybe 1 or 2 units at the base, maybe an archer just to hit Lionheart as he got that cup up and just bring it right back down again. It could have been countered, but I'm not sure if there was so much that could have been done in that last one. It was heavily stacked against you.
And you can see it every time. They just bring a cavalry unit into the base and cap it really quick. And then our response is, well, we have to run back to the base. And so then we all fall back and they push forward. Their cavalry is just incredible. And I don't know, I hope we can beat them. I don't know how.
You can bring it back, I'm sure. And actually, I called out Mecha earlier on, but it was a fantastic play from him from your side, where he wiped out their artillery towards the end of the second match. So, yeah, he did all right. I was being
mean. Yeah, we have our moments of greatness.
He's okay.
we can get stuff done, and you can see when we can win. And then right when something good is about to happen, it's like, oh, they're in our base now. All right, everyone fall back. They're in our base now. It sucks.
I believe in you, man.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can do it.
Well, I mean, I feel like you basically broke that down very well, and I appreciate that. But obviously, we're reaching the halfway point of our little day, and that means that marathon is coming up. What are you going to do to change this?
I don't know. I don't know. It could be a bad day for the king. Look, I hate to break it to everyone. Leonidas didn't win in the end. Like, I don't know what you.
But this is your chance to rewrite history. You realize
they gave me a character who loses. He's famous for losing, killing 299 of his best friends,
losing triumphantly. Fyrric.
Yeah, after we're done next week, another group of players is going to come in and win for us because we've lost. History will be the exact same.
So we do need to talk about it though, because we're going to go into a tier change on the next map, which is marathon. Do you think that'll play into your favor at all?
I honestly, I would say I hope, because I think we have a few ideas that would actually work really well for us. But again, it comes down to knowing the tier and knowing what to do. And I'm convinced a few of their players know exactly everything to do at every single time.
Well, that's a nice segue.
Maybe you can break things up again. Again, the roster's completely different. Like there'll be units that we haven't seen before. There are going to be the Gladiator Spearmen, for example, who have super sneaky anti-cavalry in the forest. Essentially, they can get really, really quick and they can get in there and start damaging them. So hopefully, we're going to see things change up. It should hopefully mix it up.
I hope. That's what we're counting on.
Well, guys, of course, you have been responding. Seriously, thank you so much. And of course, you can continue to do that using that hashtag TWArena. And of course, make your way over to totalwar.com/ESL, where you can get into the closed alpha and potentially meet Jesse, and hopefully he'll teach you a thing or two. I believe in Jesse. Hashtag I believe in Jesse.
Oh my, thank you.
And we're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with lots more. As we said, marathon, and we're up in the ante here. We're going to 7, I believe, and it's going to be good.
It's going to change things up.
Stick around. We'll be right back.